class 10. Today I am going to tell you about the last topic of chapter 7, that is the Dalit movements or Dalit politics during the 20th century. Now first of all, we'll have to understand who are Dalits. Now Dalits are those people, the backward, downtrodden, oppressed, poor category of people of our country. During the British time, they were regarded as Dalits. They were regarded as untouchables. In Hindu earliest law book, that is Manusmriti, there they are considered as the 5th class. And right from the very beginning of our society, these people were always looked down upon by the upper caste people in the society. So these people were regarded as Dalit. For the first time, this term Dalit was used by the social reformer from Maharashtra, Jyotiba Phule, who had set up his organization Satyasodhak Samaj for the upliftment of these downtrodden, oppressed people of our country. So Jyotiba Phule was the first to consider these people as Dalits. Now they were the depressed class. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had called them the depressed class of British India, and Mahatma Gandhi had called them the Harijans, or the children of God, or sons of God. So these people are always in the focus during our national movement. Whereas Mahatma Gandhi had tried to remove the social inequalities, he considered the Dalit problem as a social problem. On the other hand, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who himself belonged from a Dalit family, the Mahad community in Maharashtra, he considered that no, it was not a social problem, it was not a socio-religious problem of Hinduism, rather it was a political problem, and he considered that the Dalits should be given a political platform to voice out their problems. So there was a difference that we are coming later on, but first we'll have to understand that these Dalit people had been fighting for their rights, social rights, from the 19th century, and their movement was turned into a very strong shape, or very strong movement by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and he actually aimed for the social development, so the ending of the social inequality of the Dalits, and that for that reason he had first organized a movement which is known as the Chowdar Lake movement. So Chowdar Lake in Maharashtra, and it was a lake from where the people from the communities used to draw water. But the upper caste people, they have forbidden the Dalits, or the downtrodden or untouchable, these depressed class people, to draw water from the Chowdar Lake. So to do away with this inequality, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had launched a movement which is also known as Mahad movement in 1927, and due to his radical demands, the Dalit people gained their rights to draw water from the Chowdar Lake, as well as they were allowed to serve the water to other communities also. Then next movement that was set up or that was organized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the Kalaram Temple movement. Kalaram Temple in Nasik, that is also in Maharashtra. So there it was not permitted. These lower caste people or the depressed class people, they were not allowed to enter into the temple premises. So in 1930, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar began a movement demanding the entry of these people as well as the upper caste people. The rights to enter into the people for the Dalits was asked for this, was demanded during this movement, the Kalaram Temple movement, and it created quite a havoc in the society. Then it was allowed that it was the Shankaracharya, he had given the verdict that okay, the Dalits will be allowed to enter into the temple and hold the chariot, hold the rope of the chariot, but the upper caste people, they had strongly protested against this verdict, and for that reason the temple was kept closed for a very long time, and this controversy had went on for a very long period of time. Now we move on to the southern part of our country, basically in Kerala, where Sri Narayan Guru had organized Vaikom Satyagraha. Now Vaikom in Travancore in Kerala, there was also a temple, there is a temple rather, and there was also this discrimination between the upper caste and the lower caste people of the society, and the lower caste people were not allowed to enter into the temple premises, and for that reason Sri Narayan Guru, who was a Dalit social reformer, he belonged to the Ejava community in Kerala. Ejava is a Dalit community or downtrodden people community, and he worked for the restoration of self-respect and development of Dalit, organized the Vaikom Satyagraha along with T.K. Madhavan and N. Kumaran. There were other people also, but you don't have to write so many names. So Vaikom Satyagraha was also for the rights, to establish the rights of the Dalit people in the society, equal footing for the Dalit people in the society as the upper caste people. Next we move on to the Guruvayur Satyagraha. Again in Travancore only, this Guruvayur temple is there, where this discrimination was going on, and the Dalit people, we come across the names of A.K. Gopalan, Kelappan, etc., who had organized the movement against this discrimination. And for their movement, the Maharaja of Travancore had announced that the Dalits will be allowed to enter into the temple and have the equal rights like the upper caste people. So Guruvayur Satyagraha was a success. It happened in the year 1931. And for the upliftments and the development of the Dalit community, the Dalit mission had been set up by V.R. Shilde, N.G. Chandravarkar, who had demanded for the separate electorate for Dalits and compulsory free education for them and social dignity and respect in the society for the Dalits. And British government had also recognized their demands, and in the year 1919, with the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms Act, the political footage of the Dalits was accepted. Their separate electorate for the Dalits was accepted. And here now we come across the Gandhi and Ambedkar controversy. Like Gandhiji, as I have already told you before, that Gandhiji had considered that the Dalit problem, it was the problem, social problem or socio-religious problem. But B.R. Ambedkar, on the other hand, had uh, considered it as the political and economic problem. And for that reason, he had demanded for the political rights for the Dalits in the legislature. And due to their difference in opinions, they had they had a debate regarding this. And this debate had reached its peak in the year 1932 when the British Prime Minister had announced the Communal Award, where he had British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald had announced the Communal Award, where he had announced that the Dalits will be given the separate electorate in the legislature, and he had this communal award had given the separation of the division. It had created a division between the upper caste Hindus and the lower caste, other backward class. No, I won't say the lower caste Hindus, other backward class Hindus. And Gandhiji had strongly protested against this communal award. Why? Because he felt that the British were trying to create a division in the social status, social strata of our country, and thereby trying to weaken the national movement. So he had started a fast unto death, and for that reason there had been a compromise between Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Gandhi and his followers. Basically in 1932, due to his fast unto death, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was forced to sign the Pune Pact. He considered that if he was forced, he was compelled to sign the Pune Pact, where the separate electorate for the Dalits was abandoned. He did not demand for this separate electorate for the Dalits, but there was political rights for the Dalits. It was accepted by the Congress and B.R. Ambedkar. But B.R. Ambedkar was not at all happy with the signing of the Pune Pact. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had tried to improve the socio-economic condition of the Dalits, and he said that it should not be, their cause should not be politicized. That means there should not, the political parties should not take advantage of their situation. Okay, so there was a difference of opinion. This is a very important topic of this entire Dalit politics, the debate between Gandhi and Ambedkar. So this comes as a 4 marks question along with other part question, comes and falls under the long answer type question, but this is an important question. Now we come to the Bengal, the condition of Bengal. The people, the Dalit people in Bengal, or downtrodden poor people in Bengal, they are regarded as Namasudra. So we will learn about the Namasudra movement in Bengal. So they are the largest Hindu community. They belong mostly from the peasant community, and before the independence, their base was in the eastern part of Bengal, which now falls in Bangladesh. So the Namasudra movement had started in 1872 for the upliftment of the community by Harichand Thakur. And the disciples of Harichand Thakur are known as Matua. It is the Matua community, the Namasudras, who are the followers of Harichand Thakur. They are known as Matuas. And this Namasudra movement had reached a great height during the time of Harichand Thakur's son, Guru Chand Thakur, who had been demanding that the Chandalas who were responsible for the cremation of dead bodies. So these Chandalas, they were they were the untouchables in our Hindu society, and Guru Chand Thakur had said that these Chandalas should be brought into the Namasudra community, and the government has also recognized them as Namasudras. So for this reason, Guru Chand Thakur is known as the father of Namasudra reform movement. So this is the end of the entire chapter with the Dalit politics in the 20th century. I hope that you have understood this. I wish to take a revision class on the entire student movement and the Dalit politics. If I get a chance, I will definitely take a class and give you the questions from this portion of the lesson. The portion of the women's movement has all the questions from the portion of the women's movement has already been given. So I hope that there will be no problem for you to understand. Thank you. Students, please copy down these points along with the notes given in the PDF with this video.